Pesachim Daf Aleph. Today's first email comes from an amazing 12-year-old kid from Manchester, Geschmacka kid. His name is Shmuley Weissfish. He watches the shir every single day, and he says, Mazda Rebelli on your 48th birthday. I wish you that you should have many, many more Talmidim. Thank you, Shmuley. Second email is from Yehuda Schuster. I think this is going to get him into trouble. He says, I'm hooked. I just started listening to your shir on All Daf a few days ago, and I love it. I'm at home under quarantine and can't go to my regular shir, so I found yours. And that'll be hard for me to go back to the shir and shul once I'm out of quarantine. Good luck. Rabbi Yehuda holds that once it's usher to eat chametz erev Pesach, that time of the day came. If you forgot to do b'dikas chametz, it's too late. Don't do b'dikas chametz, because what if you find chametz in the b'dika, you might come to eat it. The question is, what about chadash? Does it issue the raisa to eat from the new crop before the second day of Pesach, before you bring the carbon omer, or in our days, before the second day of Pesach? By the way, according to most Rishonim, there's a issue raisa even in our days to eat chadash, even in chutz la'aretz. There's a heter from the Bach, there's a heter from the Ramah, but it seems like most Rishonim, the Mishabur seems like he holds that it's asur b'zman hazeh. The question is, the Gemara says that once the omer was brought, flour and toasted grain was available immediately. How did that happen? Obviously, they harvested the grain before the omer was brought. The question is, according to Rabbi Yehuda, shouldn't we be concerned that he might come to eat from the grain as he's harvesting it, just like he might come to eat the chametz as he's looking for it? So the Gemara gives a number of answers. One of them is that you have to harvest the grain with a shinui, a heker, do it differently by hand. The Gemara is daicha that. The Gemara says a concept called badal, and the Gemara goes in the entire sugya in Rabbi Yehuda in badal, and that is that a person knows to differentiate. A person is very careful when it comes to chadash. For many months he hasn't been eating chadash. He's not going to come to eat it today. Chametz is something you eat all year long. So you're used to eating it, you might come to eat that beautiful glazed donut that you just found. Rava says, you could say different svarim rabbanon. We're going to say the opposite. When it comes to the omer, then we're chayshish that you might come to eat the omer. Therefore, chacham, we're not happy with the people that had flour ready immediately. But when it comes to chametz, if you're searching to destroy, you're not going to come to eat it, because that's your whole purpose, to destroy. So Rabbi Yehuda says everything is dependent on badal, and that's why when it comes to chametz, a person is not badal. He's busy eating chametz all year round. He'll eat it today, so you have to be geyser. Chadash he's not eating, therefore we don't have to be geyser. There's halacha when it comes to Shabbos. We say it in Bamem Adlikin. So don't take an egg with a hole in it where oil drips out into your candle, because you might come to use the oil. Rabbi Yehuda says it's not a problem, not concerned. What about badal? All year long, all day long, you eat, you drink oil, you use it in your salad, you might come to take it. The answer is because it's Shabbos today, it's chamer, you're not going to use it. Can you use a rope, make a knot in a rope on Shabbos to tie your pail in the well, knowing that you're going to undo it immediately because you really need this rope? Chevel gardi, it's a measuring rope. Once again, according to Chachamim, it's a problem because they go with the idea of michlaf. Are people going to be confused? People will confuse this rope with a regular rope. And maybe they say it's also. Rabbi Yehuda, on the other hand, says it's mutter because Shabbos is chomer, as we said before, and it'll be very careful to undo it, and it shouldn't be a kesher shekayama. Now, there's a halacha regarding the ktira sa'imer, ktira of just a regular wheat and barley. It's usher to harvest before you harvest the omer. However, if you're harvesting from an inferior ground, such as a place that needs irrigation, not rainwater, so the barley is inferior, then it's mutter to harvest there, especially if you do it by hand. The halacha is a bechar, the firstborn animal, goes to the kayin. What if you have to let blood from this animal because it has some blockage, it has some pressure, you have to relieve the pressure? Rabbi Yehuda is concerned that if you make a hole in this animal, you might create a mum, you might split its lip, its ear, you might take off a piece of bone, so it's usher. Why is this different? The truth is, this is kachim, and a person is very careful, he's badal from kachim. The Gemara says there's a new concept called adam ba'al amayna. A person, when he gets into a panic because he's about to lose money, if we allow him to make a hole in a place where it doesn't cause a mum, next time he might make a hole in a place that does cause a mum. But Chacham say if you don't allow him to make any bloodletting, then certainly he'll be so panicked he'll let blood. So at least let him do it in a place that it's mutter. When it comes to combing animals' hair, there's a distinction between using a comb made out of wood, which has wider teeth, and you cannot use a comb that's made out of metal and has narrow teeth because that will harm the animal. Over here we don't see the concept of bow because it's just tsar balachayim. If you don't comb the animal, it'll be tsar, but it won't. It's not like you're going to lose the animal. And we're not going to confuse the larger comb, which is mutter to use, with the smaller teeth, which is asr. Says the Mishnah, according to Rameir, you could eat chametz in the 5th hour. You just have to make a separation between achilas chametz and bir chametz 1 hour. And that 1 hour is the 6th hour that we burn the chametz. According to Rabbi Yehuda, you cannot eat chametz in the 5th hour. We have to make a 2-hour separation. You toila, you don't eat and you don't burn in that 5th hour. Rabbi Gamliel says that chulin you could only eat in the 4th hour. In other words, you cannot eat regular food in the 5th hour like Rabbi Yehuda. But he says when it comes to truma, since it's also to destroy truma with your hand, you could eat it in the 5th hour. But according to everybody, you burn the chametz in the 6th hour. Says Rabbi Yehuda there were 2 breads that they put high up on a bench, and everybody saw and they knew that they could eat chametz then. When they removed one bread, that meant stop eating chametz. And when they removed both breads, that meant burn the chametz. There's a Mishnah in Sanhedrin that says that if one witness says that the murder happened on the 2nd day of the month, and the second witness said it happened on the 3rd day of the month, but they both agree that it happened on a certain day of the week, then it's a good eidos because one of them made a mistake on Iber HaChodesh. But if they made a mistake on 2 days, that's not a good eidos, so you don't make a mistake on 2 months. What if they made a mistake on hours, and that has to do with chametz? One said it happened on 2 o'clock, the other said 3 o'clock. It's a good eidos. If one said at 3 o'clock and the other one said 5 o'clock, according to Rameir, it's not a good eidos. According to Rabbi Yehuda, it is a good eidos. But 5 and 7, according to everybody, is no good because there the sun is in a different position and everybody knows that it's a different time. There's one lashon in Abai that says, according to Rameir, a person doesn't make a mistake in time at all. When they're coming to say witness testimony, there's no mistake at all. So what happened was the murder happened either at 2:59 or at 3 o'clock. So therefore, the person that said that it happened at 2 o'clock, he meant 2:59. The person that said 3 o'clock, he was right. According to Rabbi Yehuda, you make a mistake in a half hour. The murder happened at 4:30. The guy that said 3, he meant the end of 3:59, which is almost 4 o'clock, so he's off by a half hour. The guy that said 5 o'clock, he meant exactly 5 o'clock, so he's also off by a half hour because the murder happened at 4:30. According to the second lashon, in Rameir, a person makes a mistake in a mashu. So once again, the story happened at the end of the 2nd hour, 2:59, or the beginning of the 3rd hour. This guy said it happened at 2, this guy said at 3, so they're off by a little bit. According to Rabbi Yehuda, the mistake is in an hour. A person can make a mistake by an hour and a little bit. The story happened either at the end of the 3rd hour or the beginning of the 5th hour. So if it happened at the end of the 3rd hour, so it's only an hour. He's off until 5 o'clock. And if it happened at the beginning of 5 o'clock, at the beginning of the 5th hour, so the guy that said 3, maybe what he meant is 3:59. So now he's only off by an hour and a little bit. Have a wonderful day.